Hello everyone, this is Raji here, and in this tutorial we are going to learn about Swift arrays. So what is a Swift array? Swift arrays are basically used to store ordered list of values of the same type. If you want to create, if you are assigning a created array to a variable, then it is always mutable, which means you can change it by adding, removing, or changing its items. But if you assign an array to a constant, then the array is immutable, which means its contents cannot be modified. So let's have a look at that thing. We are going to create a new Xcode playground. I'll name this as Swift arrays, and I'm saving my playground file to my desktop. So as you can see, my playground file is created over my desktop. Now let's start with the syntax of creating array. We'll first initialize an empty array. How to initialize an empty array? So I'm gonna create this array as a variable array, which means its value can be modified. Its values can be modified by adding, removing, or changing its items. So I'm gonna create this array as a variable array. Empty dynamic array. And I am mentioning over here that this array must contain value of int type. So this is the declaration syntax of declaring an empty array. I have created an array using my var keyword. I am assigning a value of integer types to it. This is initialization of an empty array. Now we'll create an array with some values in it. Var valued array. So I'm saying that this array must contain, I have created valued array and I am mentioning its type as string, and I'm putting some integer values in it, int values in it. So this is the syntax for creating an array with values. I have stored 3 index values in it. So I have created an array named valued array and I am assigning a type of int to it, which means this array can only contain values of integer type. And I am assigning value of 10, 20 and 30 to it. So I'll print this array. As you can see in the right sidebar, it is showing the value of this particular array. So when I print this array, I'll be getting the same result over here. It is showing 10, 20 and 30. So now let's move on to how to access the elements in an array, each index elements in an array. We can retrieve the value from an array using the subscript syntax, passing the index of the value you want to retrieve within square brackets immediately after the name of the array. So as you can see, I have created an array named valued array and I'm going to access its first index. So the index of array always begins with 0, which means the 10 value of array is stored in index number 0, then 1 and then 2. So I'm gonna print the first index, 0th index of this array. So I'll show you the syntax on how to print it. So this is the syntax of accessing array. If you want to access the 0, this is the 0th position, this is the first and second position. If I want to access second position, second index of an array, so what I'll do is I'll write the array name of the array followed by square brackets, and inside it would be the index of the array. So for example, if I want to access the last index of the array, which is the second index, so I'll just write print array name, and then comes a square bracket, and then comes the index which you want to access. So if I in this one I want to access the last index, which is second index, so now it will print 30 over here. Yeah, this is all about accessing arrays. Now accessing array. Now next we'll move on to modifying arrays. If you want to replace one index, the value of first index of an array with some other value, you need to have some functions. So let's move on to modifying arrays. You can, for modifying array, we need to use the append method or addition assignment operator to add a new item at the end of an array. So as the name suggests, as the keyword suggests, append is used to add a new item at the end of the array. So we'll have a look at the following example. I'm gonna create, there is already an array created over here named valued array. We'll use that array only. I'm gonna append a new value to this array. I'll say valued array. As I have told you, we have to use the append keyword, append function. I'm gonna append, and see, as over here it is mentioning new element which you want to append to this array. So I'll add 40. So I have added 40, I have appended 40 to this array. So as you can see, now my array value in my array contains 10, 20, 30 as well as 40, which is my appended value. And the previous array before appending, it contained the value of 10, 20 and 30. So this way you can modify the array, you can append values to the array. Now we'll move on to iterating over an array. If we want to search for some values, if the array contains a number of values and we want to search particular index of an array, so for that we need to iterate over an array. So let's have a look at the example on how to iterate over an array. So for iterating over an array, we need to use the for in loop to iterate the entire set of values in an array. So we'll have a look at the example. So I'm gonna append few more values to this particular array. Like I have appended 40 to this array. So I'm gonna append 50 so that we can iterate over this array. That's it for now. Now we'll iterate over this array. So as I have said, we have to use the for in method, for in loop for iterating over an array. For. So I'll say for value in my valued array. I'll print the value over here. So this will iterate over my entire array. So now my entire array will look like this. I'll print it over here. Now my array will look like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 up to 70. Now I'm gonna iterate over the entire set of array. So I'm putting a variable name value. For value in valued array, I'm iterating over this array and I'm printing the value which the array iterates, and it results the set over here. So now here it is showing 7 times. This loop will get executed 7 times. So if you want to see the value, so the last value is printed over here after looping 7 times. So this is how, if you want to iterate or an array. Now we'll move on to adding two arrays. If I want to add an array to another array and combine both the arrays into a single array, so how can we do that? So I'm creating an array over here, and I'll put some values like 80, 90 and 100. And here I'm gonna create a new array, a combined array. So we'll combine the existing array, which is the valued array, along with this the new array we have created over here. So as you can see my valued array contains value from 10 to 70, and my new array contains value of 80 to 100. So now the combined array contains values of valued array as well as new array, combination of both these array. So it contains from 10 up to 100. So in this way you can combine two arrays and create a new array by the combination of two arrays. Next, we'll move on to the function of counting the values in an array. Count property of array. So if you want to count the number of elements in an array, we need to use the count property. For example, in this particular array, right now we have 7 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I want to get the elements, the count of elements in an array, we need to use the count property. So we'll see the syntax on how to use the count property. So for example, if we want to have a count of both these arrays, valued array plus new array. So what I'll do is I'll just add a print statement. Valued array has a count of so see the property, how to use the count property. You just need to say the array name, then the dot operator, then the count property. So I have said valued array has a count of 7. So the value is printed over here. So similar fashion you can print the count of our newly created combined array. Combined array has a count of, the syntax is the name of an array. So the name of my array is combined array followed by the dot operator followed by the count keyword, count property. So now it will print 10. If we want to check whether an array is empty or not, so for that we need to use the empty property. We'll have some cases where you have to check whether that particular array is empty or not. If that array is empty, do this particular condition, or if the array is not empty, do some other check. So for the empty check, what we need to do is we just need to check the name of the array. So for example, if I'll check over here, I'll add a if else statement. I'll check whether my valued array is empty or not. If my valued array is empty, so this is the property to check whether my array is empty or not. If valued array dot is empty, then I'm gonna print my array is empty, else my array is not empty. So as you are aware, this condition will go into the else statement because my array is not at all empty. It contains 7 elements in it. So my array is not empty. So if you want to check whether an array is empty or not, we need to use the is empty property. So guys, that's it for now. This was the basic introduction, basic brief of Swift arrays. So thank you guys for watching this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, please click on like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye guys.